Deneen Shoemaker here, helping you to live your best life now. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, well, if your God is so good, then why does all this bad stuff happen all the time? And I want to talk with you about that today. But real quick, I just want to remind you that if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so. That way you will be notified when the new videos come out. And if anything that I say today resonates with you, or if maybe you hear something that might help someone else, go ahead and share away. All right. Why does God allow bad things to happen? Well, I'm not necessarily going to talk about that particular bit, but what I would like to try to get across today is the nature of God when these bad things happen. Because I believe that everything does happen for a reason, but it isn't always God ordained. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and you make bad choices. Just putting it out there, trying to be a friend. In other words, I really don't believe that every single thing is ordained by God. I do believe that God can turn all things, even if they're bad, to the good. That I believe. All right, so what am I talking about when I say the nature of God? Well, right at the beginning of the Bible, in Genesis, in the creation story, we see that Adam and Eve make a bad choice and they are expelled from perfection, right? Okay, so we could go on and on about how God expelled them from perfection. But one of the things that I don't think gets talked about enough in that story is, and maybe you've never read the story, but did you notice that Adam and Eve didn't knit the fig leaves together for themselves? God did that for them. God understood that they knew that they were naked and they were ashamed. And yes, they had to pay consequences for their actions, but what I love is the mercy and the love and the caring that God shows because he knit the fig leaves together for them. Right? Abraham and Isaac, the story. And if you're not familiar with it, Abraham takes his only son to be sacrificed. And Abraham fully believes that it is his son Isaac that is going to be the sacrifice that God wants. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that with you today. Maybe that is ultimately what God wanted. But what I love is that in the end, God provides the ram for the sacrifice. Isaac does not need to be spared. The Israelites running around in the desert, a bunch of circling, destination challenged people who had just made their way out of Egypt, where they were slaves and in bondage, and they have nothing to eat. God knows why they're running around in the desert, yet in his love and his provision, it might not have been a filet mignon, but he provided manna straight out of the sky for them to survive on. Fast forward to the New Testament. Paul is on a ship, and the captains and the crew were probably prideful and arrogant and ended up leading 276 men to what could have been their death because they lost the ship in a winter storm. Yet God, I believe, in his provision, all 276 men survive the shipwreck. Or, if we fast forward to Jesus, who I believe is God in a bod, we read about Jesus continually covering people's shame. That's love. And the last thing that I want to share with you in terms of what really shows the true nature of God is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. Now, anyone who has ever lost a child truly understands the depth of the sacrifice that God made so that you and I would never be separated from that love that is wider and deeper than anything else we could ever know. So I hope that I have given you a little glimpse into, even in the bad situations, God has shown his love and his mercy. And those are the things that display his true nature. My prayer for you this week is that even in the midst of difficult circumstances, you can somehow, some way, glean that message of love and of hope, even out of the dark. Because I believe that the worst thing is never the last thing, especially when you have God on your side. So again, if you would, hit that subscribe button. If you would like to dive a little bit deeper into what made me choose this topic today, I do have some links down in the description below. Just helping you all live your best life now, because this ain't no dress rehearsal. Grace and peace.